President Trump says that Kirk has died after he was shot from a nearby building.
After being shot at Utah Valley University.
The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I didn't even get to give him a kiss goodbye.
That young man, I forgive him.
Take your time.
If you've been paying attention lately, you already know something big is about to drop. Candace Owens is releasing a new episode in her series, and this one is centered around Charlie's story, with a strong focus on Erika Kirk. The big question right now is simple. What direction is this going to take? Is it supportive, critical, or just laying everything out for people to decide? Nobody really knows yet, and that's exactly why so many people are locked in waiting to see what comes out next. What makes this even more interesting is how things have unfolded up to this point. Early on, Candace didn't come out swinging at Erika at all. She actually held back and gave her space during a very emotional time, letting her grieve and process everything without pressure. In fact, there were moments where she seemed to defend her, even when people in the comments started raising eyebrows and asking questions like, what exactly is Erika doing, and why does some of this feel off? At that stage, it looked like she was trying to protect her and keep things calm. But then, things started stacking up fast, one situation after another, details coming out back to back, and suddenly people couldn't ignore it anymore. A lot of these moments have already been discussed by different voices online, and now it's reached a point where many are saying some of these pieces just don't seem to line up. Certain parts of her past, certain shifts, certain moves, they're being looked at closely because they don't always match the image people are seeing today. And to put it into perspective, situations like this aren't unheard of.
Erika Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
It's weird to say excited.
Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch, hats.
People can change over time, completely shift their lifestyle, and step into something new. There are real examples where someone had a wild past, made different choices later, and now lives a totally different life in a more structured and faith-focused environment. So for some people, that's all this is: growth and transformation. But for others, it's the timing, the details, and the way everything connects that keeps raising more questions. She clearly knows her way around the Bible and speaks with confidence, like someone who fully stepped into that role. And that's where a lot of people start comparing things, wondering if Erika's situation could be something similar. Before all of this, she had a completely different lifestyle in the public eye. Beauty pageants, media appearances, and a strong presence across social platforms, where she was often seen around a lot of men. Now, to be clear, being around people doesn't automatically mean anything beyond that. But viewers have pointed out that the tone in some of those clips felt very different from the image being presented today. Some people say those older videos don't match the current persona at all, and that's where the conversation really starts heating up. At the same time, others are quick to remind everyone that no one is perfect, and people can grow, change, and move into a completely different chapter of life. That's a real thing, and it happens more often than people think. But still, the timing, the shift, and the way everything unfolded has made people look a little closer at the details, and that curiosity isn't slowing down anytime soon. Now, this is exactly where the new series comes in, because it looks like it's going to dig deeper into those questions and explore the timeline more closely. Not just surface-level observations, but a deeper look at claims, connections, and everything surrounding the situation.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
That's why the anticipation is so high right now, because people feel like this could either clear things up or raise even more questions. And once you step into what's happening online, things get even more intense. People are reacting in real time, and emotions are running high across every platform. If you haven't seen it yet, the trailer for the series already dropped, and just that alone has people going wild. Episode 1 is expected very soon, and the buzz around it is already massive. What's really catching attention, though, is how strong the reactions have been from different voices online. Some are pushing back hard, saying this kind of content crosses a line, especially if there's no direct involvement proven. Others are saying the opposite, arguing that asking questions and looking into public situations is part of holding people accountable. That split reaction is what's making this situation feel even bigger than it already is. And that's where things get complicated. If Erika had no involvement in anything serious tied to Charlie's situation, then this kind of series could be seen as extremely harsh and unfair. A lot of people are saying that targeting someone during such a sensitive time, especially at a high production level with multiple episodes, is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. That's why you're seeing strong words being used online, because emotions are running high on both sides. But then there's the other perspective. If there are unanswered questions or unresolved concerns, some people believe this kind of investigation could bring clarity and transparency. That's why you're seeing such a strong divide, because depending on how you look at it, this could either be viewed as crossing a line or exposing something important. And until everything is fully revealed, people are left trying to piece it together themselves. Now here's where things take another turn.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth about Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
We heard conversations to have with a 15-year-old. I'm going to touch your butt.
$8.6 million to their own shell company. What is going on?
We have nothing to hide.
Because alongside all of this, there are claims of a coordinated push against Candace Owens herself. This isn't just random criticism popping up here and there. Some are saying it looks organized, like multiple accounts pushing the same message at the same time. That's what really caught people's attention. One of the posts that went viral claimed that someone was offered money to speak negatively about Candace, and that alone sent shockwaves across social media. The post racked up massive views, and suddenly people started digging deeper into what might be going on behind the scenes. Whether that claim holds up or not, it definitely added fuel to an already intense situation. Then more content started circulating, showing what looked like structured talking points being repeated across different accounts. The language, the tone, even the wording. People noticed similarities and started asking questions about whether this was a coordinated effort or just coincidence. In today's digital world, where content can be created and spread in minutes, it's not hard for something like that to happen quickly. Some users even pointed out how fast these types of campaigns can be put together now, especially with modern tools. A few minutes is all it takes to create multiple posts, push a narrative, and flood comment sections. But at the same time, audiences are more aware than ever, and many people can spot patterns like this almost instantly. The idea behind this kind of strategy, if it is happening, would be simple. Repeat the same message over and over until it sticks. Flood replies, dominate comment sections, and shape how people perceive the situation. It's not a new concept.
My aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
But the speed and scale at which it can happen today is on a completely different level. And that's exactly why the situation feels so intense right now. You've got a major series about to drop, a highly divided audience, strong reactions from public figures, and claims of coordinated messaging all happening at the same time. It creates this environment where everything feels amplified, and every new post or clip adds another layer to the story. At the same time, it's important to remember that not everything online is confirmed or proven right away. Some things turn out to be accurate, others don't, and a lot of it sits somewhere in the middle until more information comes out. That's why so many people are watching closely, waiting to see what actually gets revealed once the full series is out. Right now, the biggest takeaway is how fast everything is moving. The trailer alone has already shifted the conversation. And if that's just the beginning, then what comes next could take things even further. Whether this ends up clearing things up or making everything even more complicated, one thing is certain, people are paying very close attention, and this story is far from over. Or maybe the goal here is something even simpler. To stop people from even clicking in the first place. Because if you can flood timelines with strong reactions early, you can slow down curiosity before it even builds. And that's why some people are pointing out that this kind of strategy isn't new at all. This has been happening for years, long before social media took over. Back in the day, similar tactics showed up in newspapers, headlines, and coordinated opinion pieces. The tools may have changed, but the idea behind it feels very familiar. Right now, this whole situation is trending fast, and the trailer alone already pushed it into a much bigger spotlight. The series promises to explore details surrounding Erika Kirk.
A new documentary series called, what is it called? The Bride of Charlie Kirk or something. The internet's blowing up. Clearly, they're not happy with Candace Owens. Obviously, I have had my disagreements, as it were. But what I would just say outright, first and foremost, is, look,
and raise questions that many people have already been discussing online. That alone is enough to get attention. But what really took things to another level is how quickly the reactions started spreading across different platforms. You've got people coming out publicly saying they were approached to post negative things about Candace Owens, and that immediately got people talking. One viral post even claimed that there was a direct offer made for that kind of content, which only added more curiosity to everything happening behind the scenes. Whether those claims are accurate or not, the impact was instant, and people started connecting dots very quickly. Then you look at the posts themselves, and this is where it gets even more noticeable. A lot of them follow the same pattern, same tone, same kind of wording, same level of intensity. It didn't take long for people to start questioning whether this was organic or something more structured. In today's online world, when multiple accounts start saying nearly identical things at the same time, it raises eyebrows almost immediately. And this is where the conversation shifts from just the series itself to something bigger: how narratives are shaped online. Because if enough people repeat the same message, it can start to influence how others see the situation, even if they haven't looked into it themselves yet. That's the power of repetition. And it's something that works fast when everything is moving at this speed. At the same time, reactions have been extremely strong on all sides. Some voices are using very intense language, while others are stepping back and saying things need to be looked at carefully before jumping to conclusions. That divide is exactly what keeps situations like this alive, because every new post, every new reaction adds more fuel to the discussion. And again, it comes back to the same core question.
people have been complaining for some time, and I've explained this quite a bit, that views are down, and in an off-cycle political year, it's very difficult to make money and maintain large viewership for your channels, especially when you're going into December, when you've got November and December with Thanksgiving and Christmas. Views drop. Now, ad rates typically go up, but we're experiencing this mass.
What is actually going on here? If there's nothing behind these claims, then this kind of pressure could be seen as unfair and overwhelming. But if there are real questions that haven't been answered yet, then some people believe digging deeper is justified. That tension between those two views is what keeps everything moving. There are also new rumors popping up around the production side of the series itself. Some posts claim that other media figures may have been involved behind the scenes, possibly reviewing early versions or offering advice. Those claims were quickly pushed back on, with direct responses denying any involvement and calling the rumors completely off base. That back and forth only added another layer of confusion to everything already happening. Then you have voices explaining how this kind of influencer space works in general. They point out that creators sometimes work with outside groups that can influence messaging or amplify certain topics. So when people see dozens of similar posts appear all at once, it naturally leads to questions about whether it's coordinated or just coincidence. That's not something unique to one situation either. It's something that shows up across many different online debates. And this is where things turn into a bigger conversation about platforms themselves. If something looks like a coordinated push, should it be treated differently? Social platforms already have rules around certain types of harmful content, but situations like this sit in a gray area that's harder to define. Some people see it as free expression, while others see it as targeted pressure, because when the same type of messaging is repeated across many accounts at once, it can feel overwhelming to anyone on the receiving end. It's not just one opinion anymore, it's dozens, sometimes hundreds, all hitting at the same time.
Wave of AI-generated content, which results in distribution of viewership.
I just want to say here that what he's saying, while true, has nothing to do with Candace, I don't think. I think that what she's doing is irregardless of money. And I say that just because she already has money, and so does her husband.
And ad rates going down for everybody. And that's why I think Candace Owens is doing this. Obviously, that was an AI gag video mocking Candace Owens having this meeting with Erika Kirk, and then...
That's why some are calling it harassment, while others argue it's just how public debates play out in a digital space. And the reality is, this doesn't just affect major public figures. Anyone with a platform, big or small, can end up in a situation like this. Even regular users sharing their opinions can suddenly find themselves caught in waves of reactions they didn't expect. That's what makes this conversation so relevant beyond just one story. At the center of all of it, Candace Owens has become a major focus point. With a high-profile series about to release, it's almost expected that reactions will be strong, especially when the topic is already sensitive. Some commentators have come out strongly against her approach, while others are waiting to see the full picture before making any judgment. And that's where things stand right now. A fast-moving situation, strong opinions on every side, and a growing audience trying to figure out what's real, what's exaggerated, and what's still unknown. With the full series about to drop, all eyes are on what comes next, because whatever is revealed could shift the conversation even further in ways no one fully expects yet. Well, there you have it. Emotions are clearly running high right now, and some of the language being thrown around online shows just how intense this situation has become. A lot of that energy seems directed at anyone speaking on Erika Kirk or TPU-SA, but Candace Owens has become one of the main targets, largely because of her reach and how openly she's addressing everything.
You know, she did walk back a bit of her earlier stance, but then, of course, she's doubling down. And the reason is actually quite simple. Many people pointed out that following this, not only was there a large backlash from her audience that just wants to believe that Erika Kirk is some kind of demon from or that Israel is doing something crazy. There are people that have formed, I would say, content that has formed around this idea.
When you're at that level, it almost comes with the territory. You become the center of the storm, whether you want to or not. At the same time, it's not just one voice pushing this conversation forward. There are multiple people who have looked into different pieces of this story and pointed out things they believe are worth questioning. That doesn't automatically mean anyone is guilty of anything, but it does explain why the discussion keeps growing. Some details from the past, combined with current actions and the wider situation around TPU-SA, have made people take a closer look, and that curiosity hasn't gone away. But then you have the other side of this, the idea of coordinated messaging and whether that crosses a line. If there really are organized efforts to push certain narratives about someone, that raises serious concerns about fairness on these platforms. Because when large accounts or multiple voices repeat the same claims all at once, it can start to feel less like individual opinions and more like pressure being applied at scale. That's where the bigger question comes in. If platforms already take action against harmful or aggressive content, where does something like this fall? Should coordinated campaigns, especially if there's any kind of incentive behind them, be treated the same way as harassment or targeted pressure? Or is it simply part of how public debates play out online today? That line isn't always clear, and that's why people are debating it so heavily right now. At the end of the day, this situation is still unfolding, and there's a lot we don't fully know yet. That's why it's important to stay aware, look at things carefully, and not rush to conclusions before everything is out in the open. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this all getting out of control? Or is it just how things work in today's online world? And if you've been following this story, drop your take below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can join the conversation, and I'll see you in the next one.